Hello everyone and welcome to my Cosplay for Beginners series. I apologize that it took me so long to start posting these. I've been really sick and today was the first day that I felt like getting out of bed and putting in my contacts and putting on all the makeup and stuff. And I'm wearing a wig because my hair has been crazy lately and I don't feel like styling it right now. I'm just going to start with the very basics. So maybe you want to get into cosplay, but you're worried that people are going to think you're a complete weirdo who's out of touch with reality. I know that feeling. I did my first cosplay when I was about 4 years old, and for years I ran around wearing various costumes. That's cute when you're 8, not so much when you're 18. So if it's not Halloween, how can you wear a costume without looking like a weirdo? Well, that's why we have conventions. Now, before I went to my first con, I thought that it was just a bunch of people in cosplay standing around and mingling. It is partly that, but it's way cooler than just that. So there are two main kinds of conventions. You have your anime cons and your comic cons. Anime cons tend to be more focused on Japanese culture, whereas comic cons are more focused on American pop culture. But you'll see a little bit of everything mixed into both. You can totally show up to an anime con dressed like a Marvel character and nobody's going to care. And you can show up to a comic con dressed like Sailor Moon and nobody will care. Also, pretty much all cons are going to have things from other cultures that are popular, like Doctor Who. Anyway, back to cosplay. If you're still worried that you're going to look weird while cosplaying at a convention, you're not. Well, okay, you might, but so will everyone else. The fact is, the people who stick out the most at conventions are the ones not wearing costumes. But there's a lot that goes into putting a cosplay together and wearing it at a convention, so let's start at the very beginning. Step 1, find and choose a convention. That might seem like an obvious statement, but it's a lot more complicated than just going on the internet and finding one. It's a good idea to start with a local convention because since they are closer, they are cheaper and easier to travel to. If your area has multiple cons, take your time and money into consideration before deciding which one you want to go to. For example, my state has 4 cons that I'm aware of, I believe, but I only ever attend one of them. This is for financial reasons, but it's also because of time. Wizard World, also known as Tulsa Comic Con, and Izumi Con, which is an anime con in Oklahoma City, both take place in late October, right around the time that I'm taking my college midterms. Not exactly a prime time to be going to an anime convention. There's also Tulsa Comic Expo, which I believe takes place this weekend, but that's right after I finish my spring semester and I really do not have time to put costumes together. On the other hand, Tokyo and Tulsa takes place in mid-July when I'm not usually taking any classes, so it works out really well for me. Speaking of timing, do not wait until 2 weeks before the convention to decide that you're going to attend because you will not have enough time to prepare. I would say that you need 3 months minimum to prepare for a convention, if not 6. Deciding in advance will give you time to A, buy your pass at a lower price since a lot of conventions offer pre-registration discounts, B, book your hotel room, and C, put your costume together. I don't care if you're buying it, making it from scratch, or putting it together from pre-existing clothes, you're going to need at least 3 months, if not more, because a lot of costumes that you order online come from China, and it can take forever for them to arrive. And it can also take a freaking long time to make something yourself. This is especially true if you order in the second half of the year for some reason, because I don't know, customs are slower during the second half of the year. I don't get it. I'll go over how to actually put a costume together in another video, but for right now, let's talk about booking a hotel. Unless you happen to live only 10 minutes from the convention you plan to attend, I would recommend booking a hotel room because it's just way more convenient. You can get dressed and put on your makeup and everything in the room, and then it's just a short walk to the convention. But in order to book a room yourself, you have to be at least 18, if not 21. It depends on the hotel. That being said, most cons have at least one hotel that they've partnered with to offer a group rate to attendees. Unless the convention is just really small, generally speaking, the hotel that is closest to the convention center will be the main hotel, and a lot of times part or all of the con will be held in that hotel depending on the size of the hotel and the size of the con. So that leaves you with a huge choice to make. Do you want to stay at the main hotel or a different one close by? This really is a very important decision. The main hotel will have the shortest walking distance, but it will also be really crowded. And I mean like completely sold out. And when hotels are that busy, the elevators can take quite a while to get into without being completely squished up against other people. I mean like 30 minutes wait. So there are definitely trade-offs to be considered when choosing which hotel to stay at. For me personally, because of my health, I can't handle the extra walking distance, so my friends and I stay at the main one. On that note, if you're staying in the main hotel, you will need to book as far in advance as possible. Last year was the first time that we decided to stay at the DoubleTree for Tokyo and Tulsa, and I booked the room in February and it was already almost sold out for a con that's in July. This year I booked our room just after Christmas, which was completely necessary to make sure we got the type of room we needed. As an absolute last resort, if the hotel that you want to stay at is sold out, you can check the Facebook or forum of the convention and see if anybody is looking for a roommate to help split the cost. Personally, I do not recommend doing that because, you know, stranger danger, but you can do that if you want to. I personally recommend attending the convention with some friends and sharing the hotel room with them because I think it's just going to be a lot less awkward if you're staying in a room with people that you know. Well, that's all for now. Stay tuned for more in-depth advice on basic costume planning and what to expect at conventions. Sayonara!